All right, for all you Java developers out there, if you've ever been caught in that tug-of-war between a powerful backend and a snappy, responsive UI, then you're going to want to hear this. Today, we're diving into a framework called wffweb, which stands for Web Firm Framework. And let me tell you, it takes a totally different approach. It promises seriously high-performance, super secure web apps by letting you build the entire user interface in pure server-side Java.
But before we get into how it works, let's just set the stage. I mean, we have all this incredible hardware, right? Blazing fast networks, multi-core CPUs. So why do so many web apps still feel kind of sluggish? It's a real head-scratcher. If you're a developer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That nagging feeling that the architecture itself is what's holding you back.
And yep, here they are, the usual suspects. Just think about it for a second. Every time a traditional web app has to read a template file from a disk, that's a performance hit. Every single HTTP request you make has overhead. Juggling all those complex AJAX calls to keep the UI in sync just adds layers and layers of code. And maybe the biggest one, exposing your UI logic in the client's browser? That's a huge security risk waiting to happen.
Okay, so with all those problems on the table, that's where wffweb enters the chat. This isn't just another flavor of an MVC framework. It looks at all those challenges we just saw and says, nope, there's a better way. It's built on a completely different philosophy, especially for really demanding applications.
The absolute core idea here is something they call object-oriented HTML. So instead of writing HTML files and then trying to wire them up to your Java backend, you actually build the UI using Java objects. A div tag isn't just a string of text in a template file anymore, it's a div object right there in your code. This gives you total programmatic control over every single piece of your UI, all from the server.
And this quote just nails the experience perfectly. Think back to building a desktop app with something like Swing. You'd create a button object, right? You'd add a listener to it, and boom, the framework handled the rest. wffweb brings that exact same direct, intuitive feeling to the web. You just manipulate your Java UI objects, and the framework takes care of the magic of updating the browser for you.
So, you're probably wondering how on earth does it actually pull this off? Well, the magic is all under the hood, in its unique architecture. It's not MVC, it's a whole new pattern they call MLTP. Let's break down what that means. This slide lays it all out, side by side. On the left, you've got your standard, trusty MVC, we all know it. But on the right, you see wffweb's model logical template push. The model is still your data, that's familiar, but the view and controller, they're replaced. The logical template is your UI, but it's a living structure of Java objects on the server, and that P for push? Well, that is the absolute game changer. The framework automatically pushes UI updates to the browser over a persistent WebSocket. No more writing manual AJAX calls. Okay, so where does an architecture like this really shine? Well, it's perfect for single-page applications, obviously, but it's especially powerful for UIs where security is everything, like in banking or financial tech. And it's a natural fit for real-time dashboards, analytics platforms, trading systems, anywhere you need data pushed from the server to the client in the blink of an eye. All right, let's talk brass tacks, performance. How does this MLTP model actually translate into a faster, more efficient application in the real world?
The update process is just incredibly lean. Check out this three-step dance. First, something changes in your Java code on the server. Maybe a number in a table gets updated. The framework then calculates the smallest possible binary message to represent only that change. Finally, it sends just that tiny packet over the WebSocket, and the browser knows exactly how to apply that one little update.
And this quote from the release notes proves the point. Imagine you reorder a big list of items on the page. The framework doesn't resend all the HTML for that list. No way! It just sends the unique IDs of the elements and instructions on how to move them. This saves a massive amount of network traffic, which makes the whole experience feel so much faster for the user.
And here's another just huge performance win. Like we said, most frameworks are constantly reading HTML templates from the disk. That disk I/O is a physical bottleneck. You can't get around the speed of your hard drive. Well, wffweb completely bypasses this. The templates are just Java classes, so the entire UI is built in lightning-fast server memory. This is fundamentally faster than anything that has to touch the disk.
So let's pull all of this together. If you're a Java developer looking at this, what's the bottom line? Why should you care? Well, it really boils down to three big things: control, security, and scalability. The security angle here is just massive. Think about it. In any sensitive app, you're constantly trying to hide your business logic from the client's browser where it can be poked and prodded. With wffweb, you don't have to try. It never leaves the server in the first place. The browser basically becomes a dumb terminal, which shrinks your potential attack surface dramatically.
And scaling? Oh man, anyone who's had to manage a big web app knows the headache of sticky sessions for load balancers. Because wffweb version 12 is so good at managing state, it completely eliminates the need for them. You can spin up new server nodes, throw them behind a regular old load balancer, and it just works. That makes scaling horizontally so much simpler.
And look, this isn't some niche experimental project we're talking about. It is out there, in the wild. According to their own analytics, wffweb is being used in projects across 56 countries. That tells you it's been battle-tested and it's reliable enough for real-world production.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What are the key things you absolutely need to remember? Number 1, it's fast, super fast, because generating the UI in memory kills that disk I/O bottleneck. 2, it is secure by its very nature, keeping all your important logic safe on the server. 3, it's built for real-time from the get-go with WebSockets. And finally, number 4, it puts you, the Java expert, back in the driver's seat, letting you control everything from the ecosystem you know best.
And that really brings us to the core question this whole framework is asking. What if you didn't have to choose? What if your next web UI could have all the power and security of the server with the instant responsiveness of a modern single-page app? wffweb suggests you can finally have both. Thanks for tuning in.